good afternoon to you all. I hope you are having a good day. And as I started my day today, very exciting day. So I must also thank the Lord for giving us today and for having this gathering here so that we can honor and appreciate the children in our lives, the children in our society. We've always heard children are very precious. And I must share my experience. I can't stand here and not share my experience. Of course, I have two children grown up now, sort of in their 30s. But 1 year ago, I was blessed with a little boy, my grandson. And that has totally changed my perception about the love that we must have for our children, the sacrifices that we have to make for our children. Because believe me, if we don't nurture them well, if we don't guide them, sorry, I get very emotional when I talk about him. If we don't nurture and guide them in the early days, we're going to have a generation of children who will have no respect, who will not value hard work, who will not value senior citizens, who will not be very inclusive in their approach to disability, etc. So what we teach our children, how we teach our children, and how we let them grow up in any society, in any family is very important. Okay, so yes, it's an honor to be here this afternoon. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm always ready to serve an organization which has all these core values at heart. I've been associated with these events for a couple of years. Where was that, Ghazala? We traveled, right? Yeah, I've traveled a lot of places, interior places, just to be with the award recipients, because I think they're the real heroes in our lives. They're the real heroes of our community. Before I move on, let's talk about what happened during COVID. I think children were the most affected ones. And I think children have shown that the resilience that we talk about. How do we get out of situations? Families suffered, Fiji suffered, the entire globe suffered. Everybody suffered during COVID. But I think it was the love for our children, the love for our families that allowed us to struggle. And here we are today. We in Fiji right now are blessed to be on our path to recovery. We are recovering. Families are slowly getting back to their feet. Economy is getting back to its feet. And children are now back in school. During COVID time, I was with Ministry of Education, and our one aim that we had in Ministry of Education was, how do we keep education going? With lockdowns, with the virus spreading at a very high rate, with teachers at home, with children at home, how did we make sure that the learning of the children continued? There were struggles though, but I must appreciate the work that the teachers did during that time, and the support that we received from children, their parents, and all the organizations to bring us where we are today. I know some children have fallen out during the COVID times, but just a plea to all the parents out there, if your child is not in school, please ensure that your child is in school. The government of the day has made provisions to allow that your child is in school. Bus fares, textbook, tuition fares, a lot of things that's happening. And we value education. Education is a priority for us. And for us to achieve that, we need your support and cooperation. To all the NGOs and CSOs and FBOs that work with us in trying to ensure that our children are safe, we thank you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is about recognizing the special children in our lives, in our country. And I'm honored to be in a room full where we have children. I've had stories of the acts of many children, the bravery shown by many children over the past years, and I think this year is going to be another special one. So, it's indeed a pleasure to be here this afternoon to witness the awardees, and I hope we bless these kids so that they grow up into fine young men and women, and grow up into good citizens of Fiji. So platforms such as these awards are not only needed at a time like this, but I think it should children should always be appreciated. Children should always be commended, whatever little effort they put towards nations or the family building. However, the truth is there are many children who are subjected to abuse. There are many children who are subjected to sexual abuse, physical abuse, harassment, molestations that we cannot turn our blind eye to. So as a community, we must ensure that we protect our children. Our children feel protected in schools, our children should be protected in our homes, and our children should always feel protected on our streets or anywhere as well. So we have, the Fijian government has put in place a lot of laws to ensure that there is child protection. As a ministry responsible for looking after the welfare of children, they just mentioned PCAN is coming up, prevention of child abuse and neglect. So very soon you'll be able to witness one of our initiatives where we have our mascot Charlie, who's always out there promoting our child helpline number. We initiated this number in 2014, and that number is 1325, where we want that number to be in the minds and the hearts of every child, so that whenever he is in danger, he doesn't feel alone when he's near a phone. Any phone call he can make to the number 1325. There'll be counselors at the end of the phone. They'll talk to them in full confidentiality, and they'll provide you with the emotional support or whatever support every child needs here. So it's a toll-free number. Please remember that. Spread it across to your families and other children in school as well. So this award started in 2010. Long way to go, and the organization has come a very long way, very progressive long way. And we must all congratulate the executives, the sponsors, and all the donors, the stakeholders who have been part of this journey. I mean, you always hear this, the journey of a mile starts with a single step. So we started in 2010, and here we are in 2022. Lot of achievements, noteworthy achievements. So I must congratulate Vision Fiji for the work that you do. When I was with education, we also made a partnership with your organization, Read to Lead program, and very, very amazing efforts put in by the executives to ensure that all our primary schools, 700 plus primary schools in Fiji, all across the islands, all across the two main islands and the small islands, where children were able to receive the books in a box. But let me share my experience with you. Somehow, children today have sort of deviated from the habit of reading. You know, when you have all these small gadgets that we carry, Fiji's population, I think, has double the number of people, double times we have smartphones and all sorts of phones. So how do we get our children to read? Reading has a lot of advantages, you all know that. But how do we get children motivated? Normally we say it's a teacher's job. I mean, I've been a teacher for so many years, 23 years or so. But I was facing the same problem. We used to have programs like Drop Everything and Read, DIA programs, where you just drop everything and just pick up anything that you can read. But unfortunately, the interest shown by our children, sorry to say that, is sort of lacking now. So we cannot overemphasize the importance of reading. So the teachers, the parents, and all our stakeholders need to make sure. I know we are so fond of giving children toys, I mean, I'm guilty of that as well. But from the early age, if we start giving them something to read, when a child is small, he or she is glued to TV. I know Coco Melon. I know every nursery rhyme. Believe me, in 1 year, I've learned every nursery rhyme. Some of it I didn't know. So even that. But it has to be a meaningful engagement where children engage in some sort of productive reading activities. That's both learning and also beneficial. So last year we heard the awardee that saved the mother during Cyclone Winston. So we have so many children out there who do these heroic deeds, and they must be appreciated and recognized. Okay, and that's why it's a pleasure to see you here all. So I always end up going there where I'm not supposed to go. So there are 4 categories of awardees here this afternoon, and the 4 categories for which a young person may be nominated under this award are: 1, a child who is improving the life of others, especially the more vulnerable in the society. And when we talk about vulnerability, we talk about disability, we talk about being poor and being unable to provide for the family. So there are children who do that. The second one award will be enhancing the school or community in which the young person lives. How do children contribute to the community development? There are many ways. Some go noticed, some go unnoticed. So the stakeholders present, the adults present here in this room, for next year, keep your eyes open. You might have somebody from your own community doing something. And third one is showing exemplary progress in personal development, especially where this has meant overcoming adverse personal circumstances. We have this problem of children engaging in drugs. That's one issue. And I would like to use this platform to all the students out here, all the young people out there, stay away from it, please. Stay away from it. It destroys lives, it destroys families, and leads to a lot of disastrous impact. So stay away from that. That's the best thing we can do. Keep your peers close to you, and a lot of times you have peer pressure where your friends force you to do it, but you should be able to make your own mind. Remember, every action has a consequence, and we don't want you to spoil your lives when you grow up. I have close to about 19-20 children in my juvenile center. Fiji's only juvenile center, and these are the young people under 18 who get into conflict with the law, and most of them inside there are people who've been involved in cases like that. And you know what that simply means? You lose out on your school hours, you have a bad record that you've committed a crime and stuff like that. So focus on your studies, focus on your dreams and ambitions, focus on hard work. Remember, everybody says hard work leads to success. Success doesn't come easy, believe me. Success doesn't come easy. You have to work hard for that. And I'm sure all of you present in the room are good students. Dream big and work towards achieving it, right? And of course, demonstrating resilience during a global pandemic. So we'll hear all that and what the awardees have done. And I've been talking about this since morning. Nurturing families, that's very important. The adults here, as a Minister for Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation, I wish to leave you with this, that we need to nurture our families with love. I said that in the beginning as well. And who better to do that? The parents and the elders. Do not turn a blind eye to something wrong that your child does. I know children are children. And children, when we were children, it was different. Your generation is different. When we were young, if a mother showed just one eye like that, that was enough to. I'm not saying parents should scare the children, right? But that level of control that a parent must have over the child. We talk about children's right. Or some child can turn around and say, I have my right. It's my right to do this. Okay, fine. You have your rights, but all rights comes with responsibilities. At one time, I remember my nephew said to me, but Khala, that's child labor. Because after school, I asked him, just sweep up or pick up the rubbish. He turned around. I said, where did you learn that? No, my teacher taught me about child labor. I said, no, Baba, that's not child labor. That's just helping around the house. So children these days have a lot of rights. And, well, it's okay. We have to move with the global world networking. The rights are there. But every child must be taught responsibility. Every child must be taught responsibility. The teachers, the parents, the elders, the faith-based organization. The best teachers are your pastors or pandits or molvis when they start talking to a lot of people, parents and children included. So every person can become a teacher in teaching a child these things. And like I was telling you, children these days are impacted by technology. And one such technology is your addiction to the small gadget that we talk, and of course social media, right? Social media is a very educational tool. It's a very healthy networking tool, social site, but what we see on the social media is scary. There's a lot of cyberbullying goes on. There's no privacy, because once you put up something, ask me about it. Once you put up something, it's for public. And then we have complaints from people saying, oh, my child's picture was put up there and all these things. Don't put your personal and private stuff there, okay? Please, I beg you. One common example with children of your age, the bigger ones here, is your relationship issues. 1 minute you are all goody-goody, and you put this picture, you share this video, all these things. But when you break up, what happens? It sort of becomes a revenge kind of thing, eh? And that's very, very sort of traumatic on people. I've had young girls come to me and cry and say, oh, I was dating this boy and we had these pictures taken, now he's threatening me and putting the pictures on social media. But remember, why lead to something that can cause harm to your reputation and your personal life? So responsibility is very important, okay, very important. And I'm sure the teachers in school teach you that, but again, you'd be like my kids, and they say, Ma, your time was different. I say, why are you doing this? Not this, don't go out in there. But your time was different. Of course the time was different, I accept that. But the values never change. The values should never change with time. So if your parents say something to you, please listen to them. You know how we said this, gray hairs didn't come with the sunlight, right? It's coming with age and wisdom. So adults and parents probably are the best teachers of you children. Listen to them. Don't show them disrespect. Same thing with your teachers. I used to have a lot of complaints from teachers about the behavior of children now. Very different from how, like I said, when our generation was there. So you've got to treat your teachers and your parents the same way. Teachers, you spend majority of the time with your teachers. So grasp what they are teaching you, not only the curriculum content, but what they are role modeling, the hidden curriculum in your schools, and the values that they try to teach you. So these children that we are going to award today, I must say we are all very proud of them. One is very small. She probably doesn't know what's happening, but the act that she has done to save her family is up here, very heroic. So to all the award recipients, a big salute to you. Congratulations to you and your families, and I'm sure they will grow up to become very good role models for other children in our society. Okay, so thank you for having me, and God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the Fiji Children's Award to Ayush. Ladies and gentlemen, Saleha Safia B. Ladies and gentlemen, Laisiana Gonerongo. Good. You can have it. I will give it to you. How are you? Is yours? Is yours? Yes. Hey, show Mama here. Okay.